can tell you from the male side, they're not bringing anything to the table, right? Men are complainers nowadays. Kind of like that pointing fingers that I was telling you. It's complaining around it's because I'm brown, it's because I'm black, it's because I'm poor, it's because of the women, it's because of them. It's all of this finger pointing instead of looking at yourself. I think men are still boys and not trying to become men, right? And so women end up with subpar men that are a bunch of whiny babies.
And my question, ladies, this is what I'm trying to tell you. And pygmishas, that's all they do is settle. And let pygmishas settle. Let them have these little boys. Let them. I can't say this enough because we need pygmishas to fill that role. Okay. If we take a look at the history of marriage, which I started to work on that video as well. If we take a look at the history of marriage, most males are not supposed to have a woman. They are not supposed to have a woman. 90% of males are not supposed to procreate. 90% of males are not supposed to have no women, and they definitely ain't supposed to have no heirs, because that's how you keep giving birth to losers, poor people that just stay poor and stay being losers. Okay, and so if pygmishas want to take that off our hands, great, because we're not about to go in there just for the sake of having a random body sitting in our vicinity, in our space, okay, living our life like doo-doo. No thanks. Okay, if he tries to tell you what to do, how to dress, how to speak, okay, that's not a real man. Okay, that's probably a gay male that's on the DL or a complete psycho. Run as fast as you can. Okay, because that sounds like a psycho to me. Okay, he looks at himself, he competes with himself. Okay, and looks at other men and competes with other men and demolishes them. That's a real man. Okay, y'all, so I forgot again. So please go ahead and smash that like button for me. Go ahead and smash that subscribe button for me, all right? Hola, mis amores, ¿cómo están? ¿Cómo están haciendo? Espero que estén teniendo un muy buen día y también un muy buen semana o comienzo de semana, ¿ok? Hoy es lunes. Si van a estar haciendo algo interesante esta semana, déjenme en los comments below. Hi, my loves. How are you doing today? So hope you're having a good day or morning and start of your week. So y'all, I'm back with another video, and this one is such an interesting perspective, I feel like, because in this video we're going to be taking a look at the one percenters. I love this part, like taking a look at the one percenters. It's actually you can go as far as 10%, ladies, so but you can't go any further down. There is no further down. It's like looking at the male population from the perspective of, okay, you're either doing well financially or you're not. Okay, so when I say you can go as far as 10%, that means you can look for a male that's within the 1 to 10% population. And the way you know that is, well, again, like I tell you in all my videos, he needs to make a minimum of $180,000 a year.
But I can tell you from the male side, they're not bringing anything to the table, right? Men are complainers nowadays. Kind of like that pointing fingers that I was telling you. It's complaining around it's because I'm brown, it's because I'm black, it's because I'm poor, it's because of the women, it's because of them. It's all of this finger pointing instead of looking at yourself.
I say it's like looking for a needle in a haystack. And I make this content for ladies that want to see and understand this subset of the population a little bit more. But really my biggest advice and most given recommendation to ladies is to not go out looking for males at all, just to leave males alone. You know what I mean? And like, if you stumble upon one, then great, but it's just not worth going out and looking for these males. It's because you have a life to live, you know what I mean? And there's just too many junk in the pile. So that's my biggest advice to ladies. If he doesn't make at least a minimum of $180,000 a year, he doesn't have a prayer in hell of being a part of no 10%. Okay, he's just a regular dude. All right, like, because 180K, that's really not that hard to do, especially if you're a male, you know, like, because this is a patriarchy. Okay, the whole thing was built by and for males for their own comfort. So if he can't even amass a certain amount of income, that is not a male that's a part of no 1 to 10%. He doesn't have a dream in hell of being a part of the 1 to 10% if he doesn't make that income. Okay, so that's a very, very easy way to start with, as far as trying to figure out who is a part of that 1 to 10%. And if you're trying to find a 1%er among a pool of 10% of the top 10% of high earning income males, because essentially that's what it boils down to. So what you're trying to do is you can you're trying to find a 1%er, but all you have to work with is a pool of the top 10% earning men, okay? Men that earn in the top 10% bracket. And to be in the top 10% bracket, the male has to earn a minimum of $180,000 a year. They have to have a minimum net worth of $220,000 a year in order to be a part of the 10% income earners. Okay, so among the 10% income earners, what you're then trying to do is find a 1%er. There's a lot of males that make the income of a 1%er male, but they're not part of the 1%. Okay, a 1%er doesn't just have the income. A 1%er has the income, the mindset, the values, the morals, the ethics, and most importantly, the generosity. Okay, like you have a credit card, you'll be able to do whatever you want when you're dealing with a 1%er. Okay, now keep in mind, a 1%er, they're all different as far as what they might like in a woman. So but most of the time they're not going to just go with anybody, right? So you have to be leveled up. Income is the easiest, most basic level. Okay, income is the easiest, most basic level. All right, like that's the easiest thing. If you have the income, if you have the net worth, then all that means is that, okay, maybe we'll pay attention to you to do the work or the more in-depth work necessary to try and see if you're worth our time. Okay, that's it. That's all the income gets. That's all the income gets them. Okay, because otherwise, because what you don't want to do is get stuck with a male that has a lot of money, but he's like super weird, or he's making you do weird things, or he will assuse you. No, okay, that's not a part of a 1% male category. All right, that's not the 1% that we're looking for. Okay, we're looking for males that are well-rounded. Okay, and we start with the finances because that's a really, really good and easy way of disqualifying trash from potential real men. Okay, so income is first. So you can go up to 10%. Anything above 10%, they're all the same. There is no like, oh, then there's the 20% of men. There's nothing like that. Okay, it's 1 to 10%, and that's it. After that, if they don't make, like I said, if they don't make a minimum of at least 180K, which, ladies, is literally the minimum. Like that's the minimum, because especially with inflation, and if they're wanting to have kids, if they have a home, now they have you that they'll have to take care of, and I mean, all that stuff, you gotta have money. Okay, otherwise that woman will suffer. Okay, then the second thing is they have to be generous. We can't do anything with a male that's not generous. Okay, I hear horror stories of women that have married wealthy men, and then those men, for example, will go out, buy themselves a car, a Lamborghini one day, come back to the house, and the woman is sitting there like, did you just get yourself a whole Lamborghini? Well, there's not really an issue with that because it's his money, so no one cares. The challenge is she couldn't go out and get herself a Lamborghini. She could not go out and do the same thing. Okay, so that means that male has too much of a restriction on those funds. Okay, so he pays for the essentials, he pays for all the bills, but if she wanted to go out and just get herself a car, she couldn't just go out and get herself a car, right? If she wanted to go out and just, go shopping and splurge, she couldn't just go shopping and splurge. So that male has too much of a handle and too much of a restriction on those finances. He's AKA not generous enough. So he has to be generous. Okay, he has to be generous. There's no other way around that. Okay, as you go further down the percentile rank, okay, you're going to be shuffling through a lot more crap to get to a real man, to get to a well-rounded man. It's like searching for a needle in a haystack. And ladies, that's the way it's supposed to be. We're talking about the rest of your life here. We're not talking about, oh, let me just have, you're looking for someone that you want to build a whole life with. Okay, that's not something that you should take lightly. That's something that you should understand. If that's what you're looking for, if that's what it would take for it to work, okay, then that's like looking for a needle in a haystack, y'all. And so the further down the percentile rank you get, the more crap you're having to shuffle through, because they might check the income box, they might check the network box, but then you find out they're into some like super weird fetishes or something. You know what I mean? So, or you find out they're not generous. Okay, they still want you to work like a Hebrew slave. They still want to try to tell you what to do. And that's not going to work for the lifestyle that we need. I mean, we can live a way better lifestyle by ourselves, than with this male, despite the amount of money he makes. And that's the problem. You know what I mean? Like, we can be, and when I say lifestyle, that's everything, right? Not just the money. That's our freedom, have our sanity, have our mental health, have our safety. Have to worry about some dude, do everything for ourselves, as opposed to worrying about, oh, I gotta, wash his clothes or clean after him or worry about what he's doing. You know what I mean? So the lifestyle is not better. It actually deteriorates. So when you're thinking about, okay, what would make sense for me, partner wise, you have to make sure that your lifestyle would be significantly improved. If it's just a little bit improved, it's not going to be worth it, because you're giving up your freedom. Okay. And that's a lot. I mean, honestly, so it's not going to be worth it. So it has to be significantly improved in every single area. Okay. So, then we have to start taking a look at character. We have to start taking a look at what their character is, what their purpose is, what their values is. Once we've checked all the foundational easiest boxes, right? How much do they make? What's their network? And are they generous? Those are the easiest boxes. Okay. If they don't have those things, don't waste your time. Those things take about 1 to 2 weeks. And ladies, because ladies will get trapped in marriages all the time because the male will fake it. Okay, the male will fake it till he makes it. So that's why I always recommend to ladies, hey, the evaluation process should be a minimum of 1 to 2 years. Okay, and before you decide to trap yourself in a marriage with him, all right, you need to put that in a contract somewhere where you have a minimum amount of allowance, a minimum amount of income that's coming to you. All right. And he should be okay signing that, because honestly, it's a safety measure for women. For ladies, it's a safety measure for you. Okay. So anyway, we'll go into all of that stuff in another video. But now we're looking at character, values, morals, ethics. Okay. We want to see what this man is coming with. Okay. When it comes to these categories. All right. And these are the most fundamental categories. This is really what's going to be the hardest piece for you to find.
Okay? What are some things that you're learning about women today from all your experiences with this new form of content you've been doing and hearing these girls share their stories on your videos?
Men aren't men, bro.
Yeah.
Men aren't men. Just our generation. And again, I don't want to insult anybody, but that is like the recurring theme. And look, women carry their own burden. They have their own things to deal with, which I'm not going to talk about. I'm not no woman expert. I can't.
Y'all, when I say, oh my God, creme de la creme, okay, this is a creme de la creme. All right. You hear what he just said? Women have their own stuff that they deal with. I don't know. I ain't going to talk about it. I'm not no woman. Period. That's it. That's where it stops. So all these males, especially the ones that you find in the women's space, okay, those are probably probably a waste of air and a waste of space. Okay. So you hear what he just said? The first thing, we barely even started, and he said, yeah, they have their own stuff. I don't know. And you could tell he's so serious about it, the way he said it in his tone. He was like, they have their own stuff. That's not what I'm saying, but I ain't no woman, so I'm not getting involved with that. Done. He's like, that's the first thing, you know what I mean? So you could even ask, if you have a crusty male, approach you, that's a good question to ask during the vetting process, which is, you could ask him something like, so what do you think about women's issues and women's problems? Or I wouldn't even word it in that way, because a lot of them will try to lie. But if you say anything related to this topic, okay, the way you know that you are really working with something potentially is if he gives you this answer, because this is the answer. And this is what I say in all my videos. I don't care if they have a positive thing that they feel like they want to contribute to our space and our conversation. I don't care if they feel like they have a negative. They shouldn't be contributing at all, because they're not women. It's like, you shouldn't be here at all. This is a women's group. Are you not embarrassed? Okay. Do you not feel shame? It's disgusting. It's disgusting behavior. I got to be honest with you. And these are the least attractive males. They are just like dirt.
Right. And I think you being an immigrant, I'm being an immigrant, we come from a different culture, right? America's very entitled. America's an amazing place. I love this country. I love it. Gave me every opportunity in the world. But the generation that was born in this was born very entitled, I think, right? Whereas when you come from nothing, Nigeria, right? Come from Honduras, super poor country, right? You're hungry for it. It's like you know what the bottom tastes like, so you don't want to go back there, And what ends up happening is that all these guys just end up pointing their fingers at everybody versus just ending up looking at themselves and leveling themselves up. You and I as immigrants, we looked at ourselves. Okay, what can I do to get up there? This is one of the reasons why we moved here, right? I tell you this. When I'm in my office and I look out and I see the skyline, it's like a power dynamic thing. I feel so small. Like, yo, there's power out there. What do I have to do to get out there? Right? What do I have to do to keep scaling? I'm nobody out here, right? I've lived my life like that the whole time. I've always looked here. right?
For a male to get to this level of self-awareness, like, and he makes, his income is pretty substantial. Like, he makes a good amount. Okay. So right off the bat. All right. So this is not a poor guy. Okay. So he's just checking all of the other boxes. Okay. If the males that start blaming other women, oh, but what about the woman? What about her? So they will come in women's space. Okay. When we're talking about different things and different topics with each other, as we should be, okay? Even if we're talking about males, with each other as we should be, because we're women, okay? And we're talking with each other. We don't want you here, okay? They will come, these pathetic, low down males will come, and they will, start harassing you, harassing all ladies, and start saying things like, well, you're saying that about males, but what about the women? What does the women bring to the table? Why do women never take accountability? Why do women da 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 da? Why do women da 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 da? That's a poor male. That's a male that you don't want to touch with a 10-foot pole. Okay. You don't want to touch him with a 10-foot pole. I had one leave a comment on one of my videos one time, and he said something like, "Oh my gosh, you're so good looking, but I'm married. I pay for everything for my wife, but why are you spreading this message to women, and why are you saying this to And you know what part terrified me the most about that comment? The fact that he said, I'm married. I'm like, this, because he is not creme de la creme. Okay. Like, I'm like, you're married and you pay for everything, and you think that gets you what? Because you're sitting here in a women's group. So that tells me everything I need to know about your character. Okay. You're sitting here in a women's group trying to tell us what to do, how to operate, question what we're doing. Like, are you a woman? Are you undercover gay? Are you under DL? Because something's not right. The math ain't mathin'. Okay. So y'all have to be very, very careful. Any male that tries to tell you what to do, any little thing, if they try to tell you what to, I got to tell you, it is the most unattractive trait to me. It is so unattractive. If they try to tell you what to do, okay, he's gay. Okay, he's gay, or there's something seriously wrong with him. There's something seriously wrong with his mind. Like, you cannot be around him because he's not a woman, and he seems to not be aware of this fact, A, or B, he seems to want to keep women down, okay? And all he does is criticize and whine and get super emotional. And, like he just said in this video, all they do is complain, try to find other people to blame. So no inner work. Okay. They're not looking at themselves. There's no way that they can level up. There's no way that they can improve, because in order to do all these things, you have to look at yourself first. Otherwise it's not going to work. Right. So ladies, this is so critical. It's so critical. Any male that comes in a woman's space and they start commenting and making weird comments, he ain't it.
I'm an introvert. I'm a natural born introvert. My social skills were trash, right? Even talking to regular people, I had a problem with, let alone girls. What did I do? I looked here. I didn't blame the girls. Oh my God, they're annoying. They're all the girls. No. Right here, right? I was scrawny. I was a scrawny ass dude, tall and scrawny, and a big ass head. Stupid, bro. Yeah. What did I do? I'm gonna go hit the gym. I looked in here, right? Business too. I was broke. I came from an immigrant, low class family. What did I do? Look in here. Right? Same thing with my style. Everything. It's always here. Always leveling yourself up. And then you develop this perfect package of a man that you bring all the value. Why don't they do it? They don't want the work. They don't want the work. Right? Because personal development takes the same amount of work as marriage does, the same amount of work as business does. Yeah. And again,
if this guy ain't creme de la creme, personal development takes as much work as marriage does. It takes as much work as business does. And then you want to have males that come to me and ask me why I tell you, ladies, if you insist on looking for them, which is, like, I don't even know why you would go out looking for them when you should be living your own life. But why I tell ladies to start with a salary. How much do they make? And I say this in all the videos that I make of this category. I say this all the time. Start with their salary. It is the easiest box to check. It literally is so easy. It will save you so much time. Okay. How much do you make? Okay. What do you do for a living? Okay. What is your net worth? Okay. Because what did he just say? Personal development is just as hard, if not harder, okay, than starting and owning and building a business and marriage. So can you imagine then you as a lady, as a woman, going after a male that's not even in the 1 to 10 percentile, that's making 60K a year, 80K a year? He's not even in that percentile. Okay. But yeah, you want to go and you want to marry him. All right. You haven't even vetted him properly for any of the other characteristics either. Okay. Which most of the time they will not have. They just can't have it because they're not at the level that they're supposed to be in the first place out here in the midst of this patriarchy. Then you go and you marry him. Okay. And he does not even have he can't have these attributes. To have to be successful in business, to be successful in marriage, it takes the same amount of work, if not, when it comes to self-development. So if they haven't developed themselves, what makes you think that this individual is an individual that makes sense for you to marry? If this male is coming to you trying to tell you what women should do, how they should do it, what's wrong with women, and they're not taking accountability, and what makes you think that this individual can keep a marriage together, can lead you? It is impossible. Impossible. Oh, he comes and he's putting hands on you. He's not giving you no money. Okay, you can't go out. You can't just go out to go shop and do whatever you want. All right, and yet you think he's complaining about this. He wants you to come 50-50. Oh my God, I can't. Even the 50-50, oh my God, it's the worst. It's like ladies that settle for that are just pathetic in my mind. But 50-50, ladies, come on. You have to be joking. You have to be joking. All right. What makes you think that that male can show up in any capacity that's worth your time in a full-blown marriage legal contract? And then like these doo-doos, these dodos, oh, I'm getting married. They filmed the whole thing living like Hebrew slaves in those same marriages, living and looking stupid. Okay. And then he said something very, very important about immigrants. It's very, very true. He is an immigrant. You see that. So these passport bros, I'm going to travel outside the country. Ladies, you might have to do the same. I don't know. I don't think we have to do that though. I mean, we are the value. So really, I mean, if you focus on traveling just because you want to travel, all right, that's it. Just focus on you, ladies. Okay, focus on you. Focus on what you want to do. That's why I say don't go out actually chasing and looking and being thirsty. You know what I mean? Don't go out doing that. It's a waste of time. This male is a needle in a haystack. This guy that's speaking right here, he's a needle in a haystack. Okay, you don't want to use your whole life trying to search for that and being thirsty and desperate. Okay, you have to build your own life. All right.
Since I'm that masochist, there was a point in time when I had a little more time. I was going to the gym twice a day, every day. I'm no athlete. I don't need to do that. Athletes do that.
Yeah.
Why? I was obsessed with just getting better, faster, stronger. It becomes obsessive.
Yeah.
Now I'm down to one because I'm out of time. But if I could, I'd be going 2 times a day, 3 times a day. It becomes obsessive, right? That hard work. This is a great way to relate it to, right? So lately, I think the last 2 weeks I haven't gone to the gym. When I don't go to the gym, I just feel weird. And it's just been lack of time. Like I literally wake up and just come to the office now just because I need more time, right? So what I was telling my wife is I feel like since I like going to sleep in pain, sore. I like when I wake up and I'm just like all sore and beat up. I like that. And it's like, it's that same masochism that I like when I'm stressed out. It is the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
But most people, when they're sore, they hate it because they can't walk. You feel uncomfortable. Yeah, I like that.
So notice how he's talking about that same masochism. You know, he likes that feeling when he goes to work and when he goes to the gym, right? And he's all beat up. He comes back sore because he can actually feel the work that he's put in, right? It's like the physical manifestation of the work that he's put in. He can actually feel it in his body, and he likes that. Okay, notice how he has this energy. So this is what I tell you, ladies, right? Males are pretty much, I mean, they're all the same. The XY chromosome. Okay, this is the difference. Okay, these traits and characteristics, this is the difference. All right. So notice how he has all of that energy. He has that propensity for pain, that, oh, I like this pain, right? He has that, the same thing that all these other males has. But how does he direct that? Okay, is he directing? Does it sound like he's directing that towards harassing women, putting hands on women, insulting women, blaming women for everything? No. All of that energy, that XY energy, okay, all of that energy, guess what he does? He outputs at the gym. He outputs at the gym. Okay. He outputs by looking outwards, looking at all these other males that are making what he wants to be making or that are doing what he wants to be doing, and he unleashes on them. He goes to work early in the morning and he says to himself, okay, how do I get to that level? Because that's where I'm trying to be. I'm not trying to be looked down on by these males that are already up there. I need to get there myself. So that's where he puts all of that energy. Competing with other men, not competing with women. He doesn't spend his time worried about what a woman is doing, trying to compete with a woman, being jealous of the woman. No. He looks at himself. He competes with himself. Okay. And looks at other men and competes with other men and demolishes them. That's a real man. Okay. A real man does not look at women and then try to harass women and then try to compete with women. That is either a man that's gay, a male that's gay, okay, or trash. Either way, he's trash for the streets. He's not worth our time. You look right past him. You keep moving. It's disgusting behavior. It's vile behavior. Okay. This is a real man. This is a man that can lead. Okay. This is a man that can lead, because he looks at these other men and he says to himself, how can I demolish these men? How can I get to that point? How can I get to that level? And that's where his output goes. That's where his energy goes.
Discomfort. And it might be because I know that it's molding me. It's changing me. You know, same thing with the discomfort of working hard, of the stress. I know it's changing me. It is molding me into becoming somebody different. I have completely derailed from the point of the problem at the end of the day is I think men are still boys and not trying to become men, right? And so women end up with subpar men that are a bunch of whiny babies.
But here you have it. He says it. He is telling y'all they are boys. They're trash. Yeah, here you come all desperate, and if you're going in there all desperate and stuff, then you're on that same time, and so you got some work to do yourself, right?
To you is when you were leveling up, when you were improving, getting better, working hard, being consistent. How long did that take? You was like, you know what? I'm at this form where I was like, I am a man. Not a finished product, but I bring, you know what I mean? I bring some value. How long was that process?
Like you said, it's never a finished product, right? Like, and the beautiful thing with YouTube, I don't lie. You can never say, oh, he was born into money. Oh, he's always been good at talking to people and he's always had that courage. You can never say that because you can go back to the first video and you'll see that scrawny dude with the big head that stutters and looks all awkward. You'll see that dude. And then you'll see that progression over time, right? So you can't lie. I would say that, I think by the time I was already 19, 20, I was like, I had double, tripled all of my classmates. Like I was a full blown man. Like I could take care of myself and anybody else if I needed to. Obviously I was too young for that, right? But by 19, 20, and I started when I was like 15, 16 probably. That I started that I noticed like, yo, I'm kind of lame. That's what I said to myself. Like I'm kind of slow. Like I don't have those conversational skills that the popular kids have. What do? All right, we're gonna work on this. You know?
So y'all notice how this is a young man. This is a young man. A lot of times what I hear males say when I tell ladies, hey, you know what? He needs to be making a minimum of $180,000. And that's not because I'm trying to be mean. That is literally the minimum, most basic requirement. Okay, we're fighting inflation. We're fighting the middle class being eradicated. The middle class is going away. The middle class was intentionally fabricated from the start. It was not a natural occurrence. And now it's going away. There will be no middle class. Okay, we're fighting that. Okay, we're fighting poverty, the poverty mindset. You know, you want kids or you already have kids. Now you want a woman on top of everything else. Are you Jesus? Can you handle all of those expenses? It is a patriarchy. Women didn't create it. Men did. Males created this patriarchy. And guess what it takes in this patriarchy to be comfortable? Money. Okay, but yet you want me to subscribe with you and you only make 60K a year. You only make 80K a year, sir. The only exception, ladies, is if he brings that entire paycheck to you. If you have full discretion of those finances, that is the only exception, okay, for being able to put a question mark, okay, in that financial area, in that finance area. And he needs to be doing that before you ever sign any contract, any legal marriage contract with him. And I wouldn't even consider signing that legal marriage contract unless he's been able to 2x, 3x his income while you both were together. I mean, it's so basic. And so anyway, I digress. I want you to notice how young he was. And so a lot of what I see these males say, a lot of times, oh, that's unreasonable. That expectation is unreasonable. How do you expect this? That's a poverty mindset. You want to stay away from them because ladies are making over 100K today. Okay. And like we are far, that's the problem. That's one of the biggest problems is that women, most women, especially the women that these poor males want and will never get, like literally poor, like financially poor, we have surpassed them. Women get degrees at literally 10 times the rate that males get degrees. We still don't get paid fairly. We still make about 82 cents to every dollar that the male makes for doing the same thing, but we still have more money in our bank accounts because we're more financially literate. What are you going to do with a male that can't even come up, that isn't even at your level? Like that's pointless. That's a fool's errand. You know, they're not useful, yet they want to blame us. It's like, look, I mean, you're not even on my level. What am I supposed to do with you? There's nothing I can do with you. It's a pointless endeavor. Right. And so that's the problem nowadays is more and more women are leveling up. More and more women are making more money in the sense of they're more financially literate. They have more in their bank account. They have more assets. And these males are just not keeping up. I mean, they are getting dusted by women, and women are like looking at it like, it's not my fault. What am I supposed to do? I'm already at this tier, and you're still at tier 2. You're still at tier 1, and you're in your 30s. And so a lot of these males, oh my gosh, how can you say that they should make that much, only being in their 30s? Huh? What did you use your whole 20s for? That is over a decade of time. And you can't even amass 180K a year. Like, make it make sense. Make it make sense.
With that, right? Like, and I've told you, not everybody has to be that way. You don't have to be that way, but you cannot then complain, why don't I have money? It's not fair that the greedy boss has all the money. You cannot complain it's the women because they're opportunistic or hypergamous, like you said, right? Hypergamous?
Yes.
It's the women. You cannot say that if you're not the one putting in the work.
Yeah.
If you don't want to level up, if you don't want to put in the work in business and personal development and talking to girls and learning how to build strong relationships, if you don't want to put in the work in that, don't complain about that.
Yeah.
That's all it is, right? That's all it is. But if you do, there is no secret sauce. There is nobody to blame.
Yeah.
None of that. It's you. And these podcasts, and I was telling you this before, all these podcasts, all this self-help, all of this stuff, we can summarize all of it to one thing. It's just hard work.
Yeah.
There is no shortcut. There is no shortcut to looking good. There is no shortcut to a good body, to being athletic, to getting a D1 scholarship. There is no shortcut to any of it. It is hard work. It's much easier to blame somebody than to think, man, I got to put in hours of work. It is my fault.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what differentiates those select few men that end up being successful, like you guys, like me, like any other business guy, right? Because I don't look anywhere else. I don't blame my wife. I don't blame women. I don't blame my parents. I don't blame my skin tone color. I asked my wife, this is the one thing where we would always discuss, like the skin tone color thing. I have never blamed my skin tone. Have I experienced racism? Yeah, of course. Every color. I'm sure you guys have experienced racism. Never have I blamed my skin tone color. I'm more successful than 99% of men, including white males. Did I have to work a little harder? Maybe. That made me tougher, right? Same thing with you guys. It is the blaming that's the problem, right? Mm-hmm. Always look here. It's always here. Almost always it's going to be here. Mm-hmm. When you fix this up, almost all your problems will be aligned, But as a man, it's right here. That's it. And as a man, it takes a man to humble yourself and own up to that. Yeah. Be like, yo, you know what? My social skills are trash. Maybe that's why women play me. Yo, you know what? My relationship skills are trash. Maybe that's why she keeps going off with Chad or XYZ. Yeah. Right? It's me. Yeah. I F that up.
Yeah.
So y'all, this is a good example of what a 1%er sounds like, what a 1%er looks like. And if you're trying to find a 1%er among a pool of 10% of the top 10% of high earning income males, because essentially that's what it boils down to. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to find a 1%er, but all you have to work with is a pool of the top 10% earning men, okay? Men that earn in the top 10% bracket. And to be in the top 10% bracket, the male has to earn a minimum of $180K, $180,000 a year. They have to have a minimum net worth of $220,000 a year in order to be a part of the 10% income earners. Okay, so among the 10% income earners, what you're then trying to do is find a 1%er. Okay, a 1%er doesn't just have the income. A 1%er has the income, the mindset, the values, the morals, the ethics, and most importantly, the generosity. Okay, like you have a credit card, you'll be able to do whatever you want when you're dealing with a 1%er. Okay, now keep in mind, a 1%er, they're all different as far as what they might like in a woman. But most of the time they're not going to just go with anybody, right? So you have to be leveled up. And that's why I say, look, live life for yourself. Don't live life chasing a man, okay? That's pathetic. Start with you. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. The same attributes that we're looking for in the 1%er, those are the same attributes that we should literally have naturally, as easily as we breathe. Okay, y'all, so I forgot again. So please go ahead and smash that like button for me. Go ahead and smash that subscribe button for me, all right? And leave it in the comments below. Let me know what it is that you think. What are your thoughts on this particular subject, all right? And I will catch y'all in the next one. Bye.